Right, so you are joining me today for my first live match of the year with the Matrix cameras, and I'd like it to have been a little bit warmer. So unfortunately we're on what we're on now. We're on nearly end of April, 25th of April we're out filming this, and it should be cracking the flags, lovely and warm, but although the sun's out, it's flipping freezing. We're having a proper cold spell, and fishing's just definitely like held back a little bit this year. It's quite tricky everywhere we've been going. But anyway, we're out filming a midweeker at Marston Fields. So it's somewhere I have never ever fished a match on this lake ever before. I've been here once before and fished on Laurel's Lake. I'm going to say Laurel's, on the first one. Never ever been on this lake, and this is actually home now to lots of the old fish we used to catch up at Bonehill Mill down the road. So all the big lads live in here. So that's what today's going to be. So I've drawn a very, very nice comfortable one. I've drawn 19 on Elm, just got the wind on my back. I really did fancy that today. It's I think that's a northeasterly, the way it's blowing into my face, northeasterly, meaning over that side of the lake's going to be very, very, very chilly. So for me, I want to be off the back of it where the fish are hopefully going to sit. But the type of fishing it's going to be quite a scatty one. I mean, very, very much big, patient, steady sort of day. Fishing for big fish, just catching an odd fish. I mean, my target is somewhere between 10 to 15 fish. Not many bites at all. Everything in here is big, other than a few decent silvers. So it's a very much a patient, catty-mousey game. Seeing what I can do and keep things very simple. I'll babble through my rigs as we do them. But I'm going to have a very, very simple approach, sort of a bit dobbiny, mugginy. I mean, trying to catch them fish now because it's nice and warm. Oh, well, not nice and warm, nice and bright. I reckon them fish are going to want to sun themselves. It's all going to be about throwing a waggler, maybe mugging a few if I get to see a few swim past, catching them fish that aren't feeding. I've spoken about this lots and lots of times in the past. When it comes to carp matches, it's often a match of 2 halves, even in the height of summer. In that the first 2.5, 3, flipping 4 hours and 55 minutes on the worst days, them fish just do not want to feed. So you've got to sort of sneak about, just picking an odd one off and hopefully getting a rival somewhere later on. So I'm going to have all my options covered and hopefully I can tick over and catch a few fish. But I'm going to carry on setting up and I will join you just as the match starts, where hopefully we're going to nick a quick one. But I'll catch up with you in a minute. Right, so whistle just gone, late as usual, but I don't mind that because it's big carpy, so be nice and patient and let them accumulate. There's plenty out there. I've seen lots of shapes and things swimming about out there, so there's definitely no lack of fish in the area. Where are we going to put them? Let's put them there. I'm not going to use them, they're my babies. So as I said, I'm going to start not feeding at all. So my plan is I plumbed up long pole. I haven't even plumbed up my edges yet. I've whacked my rig on, there's one. I plumbed up long pole, a mugging rig, and Waggler and method just in case. Yeah, but I've got no intention whatsoever of feeding anything to begin with. Yeah, I just want to see what the fish are doing. How long is that line? A little bit too long, that. I just want to see what they're doing, see if they're swimming about, see if I can pick a few off. The expectations of what you're going to catch have to be minimal to begin with. I just want a bite. And I want everything prepped ready to potentially get me a bite. So I don't upset him. You can see, I don't think you'll be able to see on camera, but there's lots of balls of fish sat out there. Probably because I've been late, because I'm the last one to start. It's as if a load of fish had sat in front of me. Just because everyone else has gone straight in with method feeders and whatever else. And I've literally just sat here, funny about getting ready, and the fish are now accumulating. So what I want to try and do is pick them off. So I've got my mugging rig ready on my pole in case I see any. Bait on ready to go. Because it'll be really, really quick. If I see one, I'll whiz it right in. And then the other one is my Waggler, of course. So I've got Waggler set up ready. I've got him set up at about 3 foot to begin with, just to see what's going on, and all I'm going to put on is a 6mm. So quite a nice light 6mm. So I've got a little hook, 16 hook, 6mm, and 0.16 hook length. And what I want to do is just cast it into the fish sort of thing. So we're going to see if any of them are willing. The only problem I've got is see how it's flying through. That's going to be the issue now. is that at the minute the wind's flying through, so I might have to swap out my wagglers a little bit. Go a little bit heavier, a little bit lighter, whatever else. But when that wind was off my back, it's nice I can keep a tight line, so I'm a bit worried now that that wind's come up and it's whizzing my waggler around, but we'll see. So I'm not worried just yet. So I just might need a bit of a bigger float on to keep it tight. So, first indication, I don't know if it's a mouth or not, but it feels it now. As soon as I shallowed up, something happened. You can just tell, you can see him really high. So, first fishy, take me time, get him in. He's in the mouth, him, like definitely in the mouth. That one had it and just didn't go anywhere with it. It's crazy. Crazy. I've got to take my time, everything's really light. So I've only got 016 mainline on, only £4 Horizon mono on it. So it is pointless trying to pull them, and so they're so big as well. I mean, I want to land them. Take me time, 10 fish, it's nothing, is it? I'm going to make sure I land everything I hook, hopefully. Probably lose that now I've said that. That's what we're after. Do you know what I actually like as well? Although, even though I haven't plumbed it up even yet, I love how catching one colours everything up a bit. You see around the edge here, it's all coloured up now. So because it's coloured up, I reckon it attracts fish in. Actually catching fish makes fish come and have a look at your peg a little bit because you've got some colour going on. Inquisitive, maybe not so much just yet, but definitely later on. I don't know where this one's hooked actually, it might be right in there. It feels alright, feels normal. Yeah, he's in the mouth. In the mouth, that one's had it and like barely moved with it, just like, well, just carrying on swimming while it's still in flipping mouth. The float like went lower but didn't go. Strange. Let's see if we can get him in. Don't want to lose him, he's a big £8–10 thing. In the nose. Oh, that's a lovely, lovely start, isn't it? That's what we want. Lovely start. I'd say we definitely ain't fishing for many bites at all today, are we? If they're, what's he, £12? Definitely not many bites at all. Might as well take your camera out. Oh, he's come off. Even better. Even better. Like that. Steady starting it. Get him in, get net spread out so he's happy. Job's a good one. Will do, mate. That'll do. 10 more bites and we're done. Right, one in net, all happy. Might as well babble about kit while we're trying to find another one. I'll talk to you a lot about what we're doing. So, like I said, I've got really light line on, so important for casting light wagglers. Yeah, the lighter line you can get away with, or the thinner line, more importantly, you can get away with, the sexier your waggler cast, the better it fishes. It's the way it is, but obviously you've got to team that up again with a little bit of durability in your kit, which makes it hard. But I'm more than happy, me, to fish really light, and today I've got £4, and like I said, 016. I've got heavier hook length, but the hook length still usually breaks as long as I don't chuck it in a tree. And I've got 016 hook length on, so a bit too far, nearly. Might get away with it. Yeah, I've got 016 hook length on, so a 16 hook, and I'm just chucking a 12 footer. I mean, I use 12 footers for everything now when it comes to my waggler fishing. Literally, apart from traditionally inserty wagglers, where I might use a 13, 12 footers for me, it's what I use for everything. I mean, I've got an ethos one as well today, which is a little bit bendier. Can't believe I'm drawing me waggler towards fish, but you do what you got to do. And yeah, to start with, I've gone with foam wagglers. I mean, I think when it comes to mugging and you're not feeding, foam wagglers are really, really, really important because they make such less splash than loaded wagglers do. So we've gone with that to begin with. But don't get me wrong, if the wind got up and it was too messy or I want to feed, then I'd be more than happy to put one of our normal pellet wagglers on. So I'm never getting a bite on that one, ever in the world. But yeah, I'm more than happy to swap to that if I needed to. So frustrating. But no one's catching nothing, so it don't matter. Just sit, be patient. So I keep launching one tight across every now and again. I don't feel like the fish are tight across. I feel like I want to feed on the pole. I feel like I'm just wasting, when the wind's there, it just feels like a waste of time. Like we're trotting a pellet and they're not going to want to eat it. But it is, isn't it? It's flying through, isn't it? He just dropped then, he knew I was like after him. Hey, there's something like 3 metres here. And some down the edge. No, they're not, that's just a clump. And they're gone. I'm going to feed some bait on that pole, just so something's in me peg. 16 metres up. I'm just going to tap a few 6mm on my long pole. Not a lot, just a couple. I'm just going to give them like 20. Just shake it in and it's in then in case I want to drop on it at any time. I don't think any fish are going to feed on it yet. But it's there for when we do. So I'm going 14.5 and I'm just shaking them out there. Not a lot of bait. Just a little odd one in case I want to have a look in a bit. And I'm also going to plumb the edges up now, even though I haven't done it yet. In the quiet bit, just before anything starts happening. And have a little look in these edges. Because we've got kit ready to go. So I'm looking for 2.5 foot, so I'm going to go in that. Wherever that is, that's what I'm going to fish in. I don't want to go really shallow. Oh, maybe not. Might be a little bit deeper even. Let's see what it is on these pots. That's where I'm going to fish. If you swimming past me now as well, I'd have a chance at nailing, but let's get this done. So I'm just going to fish back end of that pot. Oh, that's lovely. So this thing here, it's actually a hay bale that's in the water. And they like being around it, obviously. So I could even fish here, like on the edge of it. Which gives me something to fish against. That's an option now. But I think what I'm going to do is go a little bit further. I'm going to go to there. That's where we're going to fish. Just there, bring it down a little bit. I'm going to go for that on one of my finding this side. It's really close to me this side, but if I go on the back edge of it, yeah, I'm just going on the back edge and I've got the same depth there. So that's nice. I've got two nice markers on these Tina Turnery grass things, and deep enough as well. I've probably got 2.5 foot. Yeah, 2.5 foot, more than happy for them to come into that. So it's like a beach here, it's like larvae type edge, so it just keeps on going. So I feel a massive advantage here, being able to get somewhere that I'm fishing against something is really, really good. That's what I'm going to feed there. So I am end of the tree, end of the bale there, right with that. And then that one, exactly the same. Back of my pot, but in a bit. If you're getting snagged on something there, I've got to be careful with. Something that just catches me rig there, see? Whatever that is. Don't want to get caught on that. So I'm going to go full length away from the pot. And it's in line with the end of that peg for me. Right, I like that. Done. Done. Let's get this sorted while nothing's happening. Still, no one's caught a fish, other than one chap down there. So it's all good. It's all good. So we're probably still winning. Right, what have I put on? A 0.2. So I'm going to shot that with just number 10s. Right, so catch up time, and we're what? I've been fishing an hour and a little bit. And I've only had one. I've had that one bite. I've chucked them effort now just to see. Yeah, it's been weird. I mean, we've had one, just can't get bites yet, but it's big carp in it, they're everywhere. I mean, I'm seeing them everywhere. We're not getting any chances on the pole yet just because they're not within range. I mean, they're just hanging a little bit, they know. They're just like 16 metres, that's where they are at the minute, just past it. But I don't upset them, you just got to leave them be. I'm liking being the one that's not feeding any bait. I've left it all alone. Everything's in, it is what it is. So I've just launched this method across, chucked in a metre off, just see if anything happens, and it really hasn't. It's almost as expected. In that nothing at the minute wants to be on the bottom feeding. Everything's just swimming, sunning itself, trying to get a bit warm, while unfortunately not eating anything either. So we've just got to crack on. I mean, nice and steady. I've had one quick look on my pole long, not had a bite on that. I didn't expect a bite yet. So yeah, it's just about biding me time, not messing it up, not putting loads of bait in, not doing anything where I'm not going to catch. I mean, no one's catching. I mean, myself, and I'm going to say there's one other fish being caught, maybe two. I didn't see if the fella two up landed one or not. But literally, I think I've had the only fish that's been caught in here anyway. So it doesn't matter. It's such a small target weight to win. Just sit, be patient, don't muck anything up. What I might do is have one more cast on this before I come off it. Just put a tiny bit of bait over there, although it's nothing significant. 2 little method feeders worth. And then, very shortly, I'm going to start pinging that pole line, just with 1s and 2s. Just an odd pellet on that pole line, just to put a little bit of bait there, just in case something happens. Again, I'm looking for last 3 hours to potentially get a bite on that. So I've got another hour yet where if I catch one, great. If not, I wouldn't be surprised if I don't. I think my next port of call after this is going to be really patient on a pole mugging rig and just literally stand there with rig in my hand. And if I get 4 or 5 opportunities in an hour, great, I might catch 2 of them. But that'll be enough. 2 of them goes £20. We'll have £30 with half the match to go. We'll be flying. So I think that's the next step. I'm just going to leave this 30 more seconds, crank it in, and then back to the patient game of trying to mug one, I think. So we should catch up in a bit when it gets more exciting. That ain't going to move, is it? It's just like, no. Oh yeah, he's on. I've caught the only skimmer in the lake, about right. So eventually tip's gone round and it's not a carp. But hey, it's a fish, so it doesn't matter. So they have to go in separate here, your silvers. But we've got a skimmer anyway, which there's not millions of them in here. You're not going to catch 50, 60 pound of them. So it's not worth fishing for them, but a bite to bite. Let's crank this one in. Just feel me shock leader going through. Hopefully it's a little carp. He can go in with the carp there, but I don't think it is. No, he's a skim bob square pants. What's the skimmer doing tighter crossing in very, very little water? Does that deserve one more cast as a result? Not bad now, is he? What's he? Pound, isn't he? One more cast, one more cast. Wasn't going to, but we will. See, I've gone with that flat alloy one so I can proper compress it. I just like it when I'm not going to cast much. I'd much rather fish an alloy feeder than a method feeder, because I think it condenses your pile so much better. So this is your trap, it's that trap set mentality. That is what we're looking at. Where'd I cast that one? In that gap on it. So let's have one more cast. I'm going to give this 15-minute cast. If you get a bite, great, and if not, I am going to comber it on a pole and just sit there. In fact, I'm going to start feeding. I'm going to start pinging ones and twos on that pole line now, just to put a little bit of bait there. So this peg caught doing that at the weekend apparently. So it's definitely the way. I remember on the Fish Midlands qualifier as well, I didn't fish it, but Rich was telling me about it. That's how they caught late on this peg as well, just pinging a little bit of bait. And later on you get an odd bite, so I'm just going to keep pinging an odd 6, not many, just 3 or 4. Twice, be nice and accurate. We got another one, and again, no, that's not a skim. That's not a skim bob. No, that's not a skim bob, which is very nice. I wonder what that is. Whether it's the sun disappearing, making us get a bite. Take our time. There's a small carp, it's not a massive one this, but I'll take anything. Take anything. It's a much faster bite as well. What was that in? Probably 2 or 3 minutes, but I bet you that's because the sun's gone in. So they're happy to go down and have a little feed all of a sudden. So chap, how mad's that? Chap next to me's got one, he hasn't had a bite and he's got one. At the same time, it's no coincidence when things like that happen. It does feel like a little twisty one, it doesn't feel like a big fat warrior. It was on a pink woofter, that one. On a pink bandam. I know, I'm telling lies, it's not a wafter, it's a sinker. Yeah, I've gone with sinkers, I'm not a fan of wafters. I'm in the sinker gang. All I want to hear is that shock leader go ding 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 through me eyes. Here he is. And then we're playing. He's a little baby carp. He's in here, this little baby one anyway. Little baby carp, little ugly carp as well. Oh, a little ugly one. I've got my wafter back, or my sinker back rather. Life's good. Let's chuck him in, and we've now got 14 to 15 pounds. It's all good. The sun's come back out, but I've got to have another cast on that obviously now. So straight back in, sort wafter out. Little sinker. I keep calling it wafter, sinker. Always a sinker for me. Make sure my hook's facing up. So we've all seen enough method feeder videos now to know how important it is to lay the table right. Squeeze that as hard as we can. So unfortunately out there you can probably leave it not quite as squoze and too hard because of the type of fish feeder I'm using, and also because of the depth. Dead shallow out there, so we're all right. I keep forgetting where I'm chucking there. Just off a little bit, that'll do. Be some patient. Just proper pulling. I'm glad I've gone fairly big. I'm going to put a 35 gram feeder, 32 gram feeder on. I need it just because the pull, if anything, it's proper, because it's that wind's just catching. It's towing like mad. So I need that just to tighten up to my feeder and save it moving my feeder. We got another one. We got another skin bob. Is he a skin bob? Oh, he might not be a skin bob. He's turning into a potential carp. He was a skin bob to start with, and now he's not. Well, this is starting to be entertaining. Different carp than we're seeing though, and it's weird on the bottom. They're a lot smaller than the ones that we're seeing swimming, which is often the case. Somebody at the door. Yeah, I was convinced that was a skimmer at first, but he's not. So he might be a big skimmer. A little carp. I just hear my shock leader then. Is he on? Yes, the shock he's on. Another little one, I think. Not a colossus. Ain't a bad one though. Ain't a bad one. Another £6. Perfect him as well. I'm going to give myself 9.5 out of 10 for that one. He's hooked. Needs the scourging, in fact. Do we? Just need the scourger for that one. He ain't coming out with a big curly hook on. Ow. Come on, behave. So yeah, that'll give me, I'm going to say I've got £20 now. Yes, that takes us to £20. Well, he robbed me bait. Hate it when he robbed me bait, and he ate it. I don't want that happening. It's different. Yeah. I'd love to time these bites. Bet you they're bang on, aren't they? Feels like 6, 7, 8 minutes, all of them. So it's gone again. And in the hour that I thought would be the worst, caught some fish. 2 carp and a skin bob. And then this has gone round again. This feels a bit bigger as well. With another carpy. Lovely and well behaved today as well. I think it's because it's still so cold. The proper, this is how I'd come in if I were a carp. I'd just go, ugh. Just being lovely and well behaved. The pole's doing me head in. I need to move that roller over in a minute, but yes, nice, patient. I reckon I'm getting sort of 6 to 8 minute bites. It's just nice. Just really, really, really nice in a place that I thought I wouldn't have got any bites today. Carry on plodding. So I've got £20 now. Have I got £20? Yeah, I'm going to say the first one was like 10 to 12, 6, and a fuzzy. Yeah, I've got £20 and a skimmer. Maybe just over £20 plus this one. This could be another 8 to 10 pounder, it feels like. Just nice. I keep mentioning as well, I've got stop knot on, because I always fish with my little rods like this when I'm catching big fish. These days I always fish with a shocky on the end, a shock leader. So what I've actually got is quite light line. I've just got 6 pound line, main line, but I've got a 10 pound shock leader on. And that shock leader is like 3 lengths of the rod. So it's not just for casting. In fact, it's hardly for casting at all. It's for playing the fish. Because I'm not casting, I've only got a little 10-foot rod and a 35-metre chuck. You can see, is it just, did I hear it then? No, not quite here. I can see it there. It's halfway through my rod now. So once I get to it, there he is, there's me knot. Once I get to it, it's a lot of more confidence that's created. I know where the fish is if I want to keep my rod down. He's gone back out, this one. I know where fish is, and it means I can pull a little bit harder, and it just gives me that little bit more durability underneath the rod tip. So a big fan of that. Not a fan of when they do this. But still, no rush, take time. If it takes me flipping 10 minutes to land it, it does not matter. Just got to make sure I do land it. This is a bigger one, this isn't a little 4 pounder like we have been catching. This feels like a boy. So no rush. I mean, if it was in summer and we needed 20 of them, I'd be pulling its brains out, but this time, don't need to. Don't need to. Yes, shock leader's on again. It is on my reel. A bit closer this time, so now I know that I've got my shock leader on my reel, I can start lifting. Yeah, and potentially see me fish. I've got my nice big long landing net on. So as soon as he pops up, we've nearly got him. We've got him. Lovely. Another big fat one. He's bigger, that one. That's probably 14 pound, that one. It's a big old fish, that. You pull him round. Get rid of that. And yeah, that ain't a bad one, is it? They're adding up a bit. And that's going to give me 30 plus pound now. I'll be closer to 35 than 30 on that one, I reckon. So we're sorted. We're going to carry on. Is this a carp or a skimmer? What's it going to turn into? It's a skimmer at the minute, but it feels like at any minute it could go clunk. Nah, it's a skimmer, this one. Yeah. Just for a second. Could be a little tiddy one. Nah, it's a skimmer, isn't it? Oh! Yeah, he's a skim bobber. Am I going to be keen and set Waggler up again? Well, oh, that'll be on. It's a carp, isn't it? It's another big one, potentially. Hey, there's just been one on the next pellet then as well, see? Oh, it's worth feeding that edge just in case. See, look, these have just left the next pallet. Angry one, this. He might be one of them new ones he was on about, like the originals. What? Sexy one, that, mate. Not little, laddie. That is, that's one of the originals he was on about. Must be. Beautiful. Right, so you join me now halfway through. And nearly halfway through, about 10 minutes shy of halfway. And dead steady. I mean, this has right pulled me out. Getting some bites on this tip. So I've literally had every single cast, I've had an indication or a bite so far on the tip. So well happy to carry on cracking on. So it's still really obvious. It's lovely when you get a method like this ticking over. Because whether it's this or mugging, you know that you can just sit here watching everyone else, because pretty much everyone else is fed. So I can just watch, and as soon as people start catching, I can either start feeding or move to my fed lines. I mean, I've got my long one that I've pinged a few pellets on. I'm carrying on just putting, not many, it's noise and a little bit of bait going in. That's the most important thing. So I'm just giving it sort of half a dozen pellets every now and again. I mean, roughly in that area, like 14.5 metres, nice. That some might rock up on that whenever. And then I've got my edges obviously ready to go. So all I've got to do is mix a bit of, slop my micros up and put a little bit of ground bait to them to feed in the edge, because I want something smelly and a bit cloudy and to draw them into that edge. So I'm planning on feeding either micros and corn or micros and maggots. I haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to go with maggots, just because, speaking to Dale, that's definitely been the best. But also, there's no little fish in here whatsoever. There's no silvers, vermin silvers. So maggots are a lovely way of being able to feed a bit of bait, and it keeps them grubbing about, because they've got to have little particles all over the place. So that's going to be me move for down the edge. But I'm keeping an eye on my clock. I say I'm on 10 to 1 now. We're out at half 3, so ages. Do you know what I mean? I reckon I'm going to feed me edges at half 1. I'm going to take a chance, put my first little pot in at half 1 and see what happens. Not a lot, just a, do you know what I mean, a good little handful. And when I do it, I'm going to move to my long pole. So I'm probably going to give this till half 1, unless I don't get a bite in the next 20 minutes. I'll probably give this till 1:30, then feed me edges, have a little go on my long pole, and it'll tell me whether there's any on my long pole. It's likely that they will come on, they're coming in on my edges, they're coming over this side. If I can get some bites pinging their pellets long. If not, it might just be that I sit on this all day and it becomes a feed, a patient match, where a few fish might come last hour. But what you'll find is that they'll just work their way across. I've just seen one swim across here, like at 6 metres, so there are fish close. I mean, they're not putting their heads down, they're not feeding yet, but when you start seeing them doing that, they're having a little mooch. Yeah, the closer you start seeing them, and what I'm expecting is to see them the edge of this, like 2 little tufts here, the straw bale here. I'm expecting to see them swim around here. This is where they're probably going to start, that line. Not this side of them, the other side of them. That's where I'm going to start seeing fish swimming quite regular. And when they do that, I'm likely to get a bite down the edge. So the only thing I've been tipped off with is that for down the edge, you don't see them. They're right stealthy, pain in the arse fish. So what you have to do is commit to it. So you might have to give it 15, 20 minutes of just sit there, wait, set your trap, see if one comes in. It might be that style of edge fishing, because you're not going to visually see them, because it's such a hard bottom here. They don't colour it up very much, and because of the depth, you don't see the swirls. So it is going to be one that, what's he doing? An exploratory sort of thing, where I do have to have a little look down the edge to see if there's any fish there. It's not just going to be a blind one of, oh, there's some there now, I can go and catch one. So that's the plan. That's where we're at now. So I'm going to keep on pinging, give this a couple more chucks, and hopefully it goes round. So we're in a lovely position now. I must have, what have I got? I've got 2 skimmers for £3. But forget about them. I have got 3 big carp that will go 10, 20, 30, I'm going to say £40. They'll go £40. And then I've had a £6 pounder and a 3.5, £4 pounder. I've got close to £50. I mean, absolutely flying halfway through, £50, that will do. So yeah, if I can double that now, by catching, I think I'll need a few more fish. I've been very lucky with how big them 3 of them fish are. I won't expect them all to be that big. But if I can catch another 5 to 8 fish in the edge and on pole, then we're away. So I think what I'm going to do is give this 2 more minutes, crank it in, chuck it back in, and if it doesn't go, we'll do a bit of pole fishing. But I will let you know when something changes. Oh, that'll be on. Is he skin bob or is he carp? It's always when you don't look in it. As soon as you look away, they know. They go, 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 go. Oh, it's another large one. This feels a really large one. Like really, really large. So I bet you again, we keep on repeating it, but next time I should set my clock and have a look. But I'm telling you, they're all 6 to 7 minute bites, all of them. This is massive. I can't even do nothing with this. It's like, wow. All right. Be careful I don't hit me clip. I might end up re-clipping with this. Because it feels ridiculous, this. Yeah, this feels daft. Proper daft one. I don't know how big they are in here. I know there's some old original fish that they don't know how big they go to, like potentially 25, 30 flipping pound. This feels different, this one. Like really different. Very nice catching some big fish on like nice little rods. Fold over, come on, roll over and we'll have you. Maybe should have put a bigger net on today, shouldn't I? Ah, well, tough one. Definitely need a 16 incher today, innit? Ridiculous. Like being at Boddington's, isn't it? Look at them, what's that? They're not £10, are they? It's 4 for over £50, isn't it? So, still flying. Another one in net. And I ain't mentioned like kit. You know what I mean? Matrixy video, so of course we've got to go down the kitty talking about everything. And what's this swan going to do? He's going to wipe me out, isn't he? Probably. Look, doesn't care, does he? Just going to wipe me out. But yeah, kit-wise, really, really simple. I'm a big fan of the delicate rods. I mean, I have been for all my life. I like the slightly lighter rods, the bomb version of the rods. I mean, just because it makes them soft. A lot of the fishing I do is for a bit of everything. I mean, in this situation, yes, maybe a heavier feeder rod would be equally as suited. But for me, I'm proper like the light rods. I mean, this guy's got a 10-volt Ethos bomb. I mean, it's our mid-range of rods, but it's dead soft and so important for landing every fish. When you have them big, horrible lunges, I mean, I'm not looking at catching 30, 40, 50 fish. I'm not dragging them in and having to land them in minutes because I'm getting another bite straight away. I've got to land every fish I hook. So by using softer rods that are just nice and cushioned and lovely, I enjoyed so much more, me. I mean, I think there's less chance as well by having really light, soft rods again, tip end sort of thing. It was something I learnt with Speedy up at Lindome. Is that if your rod's nice and soft at the end, it doesn't move your feeder as easy with any liners and things like that. So it keeps things where they need to be, where a nice stiff tip or a really stiff tip can often, a bit of a liner, and it can make your feeder move even easier, which they already move ridiculously easy. So rod-wise, yeah, nice 10-foot thingy, 10-foot Ethos, Ethos bomb I've got on that one, like I say. We've got normal reel, I've told you about my line, my £6 main line with a £10 shocky, and I talked about that as well, first thing. My feeder, I've thrown a 32 gram flat alloy feeder, which just contains things better. So I'm not trying to build up a peg. I mean, it's not that sort of thing where I'm chucking against the really shallow water trying to build something up. I mean, that's not what's happening today. What I'm doing is just chucking it out, knowing my trap set perfect, which it does. Spoke about that with flat style feeder as opposed to a method feeder. It just keeps it contained a little bit more. I like that. That's, in my opinion, I'm more of a fan of that than spreading it about with a method. I think there's more chance of them eating it all in one go by doing that. And yeah, it's been spot on, nice and easy. Got a big curly hook on, 0.19 hook length, all nice and robust. And definitely a pink sinking one's been the bait for me today. Big fan of sinkers, spoke about this loads. Don't like wafters. Want me bait to sink, want it to stay where it is. I feel like wafters cause more problems than they fix. So yeah, I want to sink a meat every day. And yeah, that's about it now. That was on cue, about 5.5, 6 minutes in for that to get towed in. So we'll crack on. So I've got nothing fancy around it. I've just gone with fishery pellets around it because it's fishery pellets here. I did do some ground bait, but I don't think they're feeding in that way. I'm not liking putting ground bait on. I think it's a bit too potent today. I'd rather have pellets. But the next thing we're going to do is I've caught me fish. I've caught me whatever I've had on it, 6 on the feeder. If bites take a little bit longer just to get a little quick bite, I'm going to put something smelly on it next. You know what I mean? I've got a bit of haze here. Then I'm going to just put a little bit of haze on top of my feeder just to make it smell. Just for a bit of a scent thing to grab their attention. When you're catching fish like this, you're not building a peg up. There's not 10 of them out there waiting for me. There's all I'm doing is grabbing the attention of a fish as it swims around that island. I want it to go down on my feeder. So a little bit of smell next could be the next thing, just to get me a couple of quick bites, just for a drop of my pole. So yeah, it's all looking good at the minute. And then we've got 60 pound in the net. Things are looking right nice. Right, so there's been a distinct change because I stopped getting bites. I mean, I've had 3 casts, I haven't had a bite. So what I'm going to do, put some bait in. Not a lot, just one little lump. What I've just done, I've just over-wetted some micros, added a little bit of ground bait to them, not a lot, but a little bit. And I'm going to put them and a clump of maggots, not a lot, that's all they're getting, a little pile like that, into my left-hand edge. I'm going to feed it on both, to be fair. I'm going to feed me left and me right. But me right, I'm going to feed corn on me right, just because that's my favourite. It's what I'd rather feed. But he's going to go in there, just in case that's where they want to come in. And then another one, as I say, to me right, that's going to get a bit of corn, a couple of maggots as well. I've got to be careful that the flipping swan doesn't see me either. It's got to go in stealth. If swan sees me, the horrible thing's going to have me. So I'll feed him both edges. Look, he's onto me. He's onto me, him. I'm telling you, he knows. He knows, doesn't he? He knows what big pot is. Oh, you bugger. Go away. The other one was just, oh no, it's full section, wasn't it? I went full section in line with peg. That's where I actually picked that to be. He knows that's just gone in there, that big clever thing. So anyway, in, some bait in. I'm going to have a little sniff now on my long pole and see if I can get a bite. And we've been on it a long time ago, not had a bite. But I've fed it now for a good hour. So pick a big pellet, just to pick them slightly bigger 6mm coppins out. I'm just going to go in, not many, half a dozen. Give them a dunk, make sure they sink. Yeah, I'm just going to have a go on this long pole now. As I say, things have changed. I'm not getting any indications on that long one. I'm not seeing any fish on that long pole either. Not long pole, on feeder. There's no signs of him. So it may be that they've dropped into deeper water, or maybe they come across onto my long pole line. So I'm going to drop him in. Hey, see how quick something's gone then? I fed that and there's immediately one on it. Just gone. How mad's that? How crazy is that? Never expected that. Immediately one's been on that. It's crazy, isn't it? There's no sign of any fish anywhere. Yeah, you drop that in and there's been one there. So, massively good time. I'm not going to panic and hustle and jump straight on it though. I'm going to leave that for a second now, just see what's happening, because I want to know what's happening here. This is my next port of call, seeing if there's any fish on my pole line. Say, another one's just gone. Oh, right, that's a 2 and 2s. Oh, wait there a minute. Yeah, I might have to go straight on that. Yeah, that wasn't expected to see them there that quick. That's really surprised me. But see the spooky, the They've been in, had a sniff and gone straight away. So I'm going to leave them. I am actually going to leave them 10 minutes. Just see if I can get any bites on this. So I'm really happy now that I've started fishing this. I'm really happy with where I've been feeding. I feel like I've been feeding right on it. It's kept everything accurate. It's all been lovely. It would be nice to get an odd bite. See, that one's just whizzed out there, but you got one. That's what we were hoping. This is a skimmer, isn't it? This isn't a big 10-pounder. This is another skimmer for me skimmer net. I think. Feels like it. Yeah, it's a skim bob that. There's no way that's a carp. No way in the world is that a carp. Tell you what, it is, it's a carp. Weird fighting carp, that. A little tiny one, littlest fish in the lake. Definitely littlest fish in the lake, this. Si said to me there's 1 2-pounder in here. I reckon this is it. He's growing. It's not, he's a 4-pounder. We can go in that net, so then that net's done. All right, that net is done now. Nothing else is going in there. Don't know how important it is, cupping. I don't feel like cupping made a difference then. Pinging might be better to make something happen. I mean, I've been pinging it lots. Don't know whether I should just feed with a catty or not, but hardly any. We'll see. Plonk him in. See what happens. Oh, I don't know if I had a little indication on the way in then even. The one thing I feel like I got wrong today, or potentially could have got wrong that I haven't done, was having nice delicate rigs on this long pole. I was expecting it to be a bit deeper. I thought it was going to be like 6 to 7 foot, but it's not. I mean, it's about 5 foot, which to be fair is exactly what Dale told me it was. But I wish I'd have set up some nicer rigs. This rig's quite a heavy bulk down. I've got a 0.4 carbon slim on this one. Have I got a 0.4? 0.5. A 0.5 carbon slim I put on it, which probably it's a bit too much lead for catching anything sexy through the water. I'd have liked to have set like a 0.3 or even a 0.2 up. Just for a real lovely slow fall, because it doesn't matter because there's no little fish. So you're never going to have any problems with little fish intercepting or nothing, and it's not towing too much today. It feels like it sat there quite nice. So I reckon I could have got away with that today. But I didn't, so there you are. Mistake number 17, that is. But still, at least I've had a bite on pole. Only a little one, but it's a bite. But I think it's time for a go on. Down the edge, this ain't going, it hasn't moved. It hasn't made me think there's another fish in the peg, and it's all tight and all sexy there. I mean, I'd have definitely seen any signs if there were any fish feeding out there. There's one, the geese have just spooked one. 2. I think it's edge time. I think it's time to have a little go in this left-hand edge. I reckon. So this ain't going. So if I go down there and give that 10 minutes, I'm going to give it. I'm going to feed it and just sit there in a coma for 10 minutes and see if one comes in. The activity stopped. I put my bait in and it fizzed up like mad because them fish were obviously straight on it, and then it stopped. So I don't think they've either ate it all or nothing's coming in now. Yeah, come on, edge time, come off this. 10 more seconds. Ten more seconds, and then we'll come off this. Oh, yeah, chop up there's got one. Right, I'm off it. I'm off it. Let's have a quick, the first exploratory go in the edge. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to get a big pot out, or a big pot for end of pole. You see on that one I've left a great big long lash as well. So I've done that deliberately. Because I want to be holding it away from the fish because they're not going to like that. Why aren't you going on? I'm going to snap my tip here if I don't behave. There we go. Beautiful. Are we going to a maggot? Yeah, we're going to a maggot. So I've got a little hook on. I've got fairly little, I've got a 16 on. So I'm just going to hook 4 or 5 maggots, all in the pointy end so it doesn't mask my hook. 3, 4. I think 4 looks nice. 5, put 5 on. Put 5 on, 5 magwars. Give that a bit of a lubing. I'm literally just going to put a few maggots on top of my micros, make a stodgy ball of them, put them in my cup, good to go. That's all they're getting, perfect. Slide that back shot down a bit, because I'm going to want to hold that in the water nearly. And good to go. That lash is a bit too long actually, that lash. I did want to keep it right out the way, but that's a bit too long, that one. Pull that in there, let's see how that sits, beautiful. Just going to pull that way. Well, maybe. So I've got a big long length of line, so I'll sink my back shot, sink that line, and then just hold it nice. Actually looks quite nice there, I'm going to leave that. Because that way my pole's well away from my float. That could be alright. So I'm going to give this now nearly 10 minutes. It is 10 to 2. Yeah, I'm going to give it 10 minutes. See how quickly one's coming in, if they are. It's a little bit too early, I think. But it's to be expected. You know what I mean? I'm never going to get, what are we on now? 5 to 2. I'm never going to get an hour and a half down the edge. I mean, they're not doing that yet. They're not, it's flipping freezing. They're not feeding in that way yet. I just thought I might have got a lucky, sneaky first one. So, no, I'm not going to try the other side or anything like that. I'm going to refeed it. What am I going to do? Am I going to chuck across? I'm going to chuck across. Yeah, I'm going to refeed this. And just have 15 minutes again on methods if I get a pull. I've just seen one swimming a bit further out here, like 5-6 metres. Yeah, proper new. That'll be on. Yeah, there is, like 3/4 away, there's an odd sign, isn't there, of a fish. A little hanging on. See where that one was then? That's where they've gone. See where that top then? I've seen like 5 or 6 here now. Maybe that's what I should be doing, is like having 2 or 3 lines and chasing them a bit. Little baby carp. A little rest has done absolute wonders on that. A little rest and then 2 and 2. Whether they back off the bait or whether they're just not there or what, who knows, but back into it. That was the quickest bite I've had all day, that as well. That must have been in a minute, that. He's gone. It's beautiful now. It's actually nearly a nice day now. So what I'm worried about now is though the lack of movement and wind and anything, whether they'll actually come in. I don't know what chance we've got on them coming in anymore. Is it big or? I got a branch here, just not moving. We've got a snag. Another big fat lad. I've got to keep check of that net. What have I got? I've got one big one. What was that last one then? £4. Yeah, £4 that last one. So I've probably got £16 in that net. Plus this feels weird. I don't think it's foul locked, but it feels a bit weird. Oh, there we go, there's the thump. There's the thump. There you go, shocky on the reel. Lift the rod up. If it goes well, we get a quicken on him. And we're done. At least what? £10 that one. £9. What did I say I had? 12 and 4. 16 and another 10. Yeah, probably another 10. So while I'm waiting to get towed in, we'll have a little ricky bit and I'll go through all my rigs because I'm pretty sure that's going to make me get a bite as well as soon as I start doing something. So I've got an hour and 15 left. And hopefully things are going to start happening now. We might get a few more. Another little run. But anyway, riggy bits, if I go through them really quick with you. Set for me mugging rig, we ain't caught one on that, but he's there ready to go. I've got one of our Section U 0.3 dibbers. Yeah, and what a 0.3 does is give me enough weight. So in this case, I've got 4 number 8s cubed round underneath it. I mean, I bulk round underneath my float, but it gives me enough weight to swing it about. I mean, lovely, not too nasty going in, no big plop, plop, plop. Just really nice, lets me swing my rig, lets me be very accurate with it. Really important. Big long length of line and a 16 hook. I mean, in that case, I've got a 16 MTX3 on that one, so something a little bit pokier, just in case I hook a big one. On my deck rig that we just had one on long, not before, if we run through that one nice and easy. Like I said, I've got a slim carbon on that one. Yep, they're the ones with the slightly heavier bristles, just so I can see things a bit better with it being carp shaped. And in today's case, got a 0.5 on. I wish I'd have put a 0.4 on, just because of the depth. I thought it was going to be a bit deeper, so I whacked a 0.5 on really quick. Some fine tuners on that, just to get me depth and me bristle marks right. Come on, I definitely thought I was going to get towed in here. And I've got this shotted, really standard, hard pellety sort of shotting that you've seen me do lots and lots to create a curve. And it's just spread out number 9s. I think I've got 7 number 9s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 number 9s, lovely, in that bottom third of my rig. You've seen me do that a million times. Really simple, no fannying about, especially with how it is. Because there's hardly any bites, you don't need sexy rigs, you just need something that gets it, hold it still, does what you need it to. I mean, no fannying about with sexy rigs with them watching it through the water. On that one, same hook and everything. All my lines are really simple, all my lines are nice and heavy. 018 to 014 on pretty much all of my rigs. And on the shallow rig and the deck rig, out there, I've got all 1.8mm slick on, the orange stuff. I mean, they're not fighting too hard yet, I'm not catching them quick. So I just don't want to lose them. I want them to swim about, not annoy me, get them in without fear of losing them. And lastly, the one I've got set up, so of course, other than me rods that I've talked about already, is my edge rig that we are yet to catch a fish on, but I promise I'm going to get one before the end, even if I have to stay on. On that one, I've gone a little bit too light again, messed up on my float choice again, just not know my depth. I've gone with a power margin on that one, which is the one with a 2.5mm, proper positive, not going to strike at liners. I mean, Houdini float. I should have put a 0.3 on. I wish I'd have gone a little bit heavier just with the water movement, and I thought I was going to be fishing in about this, but I'm not. I'm fishing in nearly, probably 2.5, nearly 3 foot. Should have gone a bit heavier, should have gone to a 0.3, maybe even a 0.4 in that. Really standard, swapped to our yellow slick, our 2mm slick, just in case I've got to pull them a wee bit harder, and just a tapered. You see in that one I've used cubes, because I'm going to pull so hard, I want cubes on, there's less chance of them pinging off. And I've gone a bit heavier on this one as well. My main line's a little bit heavier. My main line's 0.20, hook length's 0.16. On that one, I've got a great big MXC one size 16. 16 or did I put a 14 on? No, 16. So all positive. It's carp gear, isn't it? I mean, it's not land 50 fish in 20 minutes carp gear. It's nice, sexy carp gear that I'm still going to get bites off because it's quite a bit of finesse involved, but very positive, gets the job done still. I mean, it's what it says on the tin. No fannying about, just does what I need it to do. So now all I need is a few fish. I'm pretty shocked that that didn't get me a bite. I thought waffling away there would definitely get me rod pulled in. But as I say, I'm getting towards the end now. I'm on 22 minutes past 2. So I've got an hour and 8 minutes left. And surely something should happen soon. I'm still yet to see anyone hook a fish on the pole. No one's caught a fish in the edge or anything yet. So it's where do I go next? Whether I have another quick go on this long pole, which I think is probably going to be the one to do, is have a quick go on this long pole, see if anything's sitting on that, feed me edges before I do, and then have a little drop in the edges just to see if they come in. But it wouldn't shock me if they don't come in the edges at all today, but I just feel like we're an hour or two behind today with it being so cold this morning. It's just put them on the real cautious side today. So I think that's the next step. I'm going to have this cast on the method. If I don't get a bite, I'm just going to draw it in. I'm not going to chuck it back out because maybe the rest will do it good again. Maybe just rest in this. Come on, me pole, give it a quick 10-minute or 15-minute rotation, just as I did last time. It might mean that I can get 2 more goes. I can go on my pole, maybe catch one. If I don't, 15 minutes time, back on the feed. I might get 2 quick ones. I might be able to do that again before the end. Get 2 nice little quick goes in, and it might result in 4 more fish, who knows. So we've had 2 real quick ones this time. There's nothing to say that with a bit of rest, I could get another couple on it next time, but we'll see. So I do feel like I need to feed these margins again just to get a bit of bait in the peg. So this is going to have until 25 minutes past, 1 more minute, and then I'm going to crank it in. I'm going to have another rotation on the pole, see if we can get one. You do, don't it? Oh, that's fizzed up like mad now. I mean, there's one on it. Oh yes, baby. Just going to give it the big whinge there. Now we're close to, oh, nothing's going to come in. And one come in. Beautiful. So there are no signs on either, so it's proper trap setty job. You set your trap, wait for them to come in, nail one. What have I got me net? £34. It's large. Nearly wimped out there, and that nearly got sections then. Nearly got some sections and he still might. Still might take time. So I've got 50 minutes left and I've just hooked the first one down the edge. We'll see, he's flipping pulling. It's not a little one. Not a little one. I don't know what's best then with them feeding like that. Sometimes if they're really patient and they're not visiting fast, sometimes just big pot's the way to go. Like take a little pot off. Just put half a big pot in every go and sit over it and wait. That's what I'm going to do next cast and see. I'm going to feed this right hand edge as well. See if I can get that kicking off. That was nice, that. I made up with that. Just what we needed for a nice little finish. Just what we needed. Is he a big one? That was beautiful then as well. No aggro, just ding on. Proper lovely. He's wrapped round it a bit. He is in the mouth. He is all nice. Got him. What have we got? 34, 44? Is that £10? He's £10, isn't he? Yeah. 44 to 45 pound we got now. So like I said, I'm going to feed it a bit different. I've just given him a big pot or half a big pot instead. And I don't know if the fish was straight on that because I fed it where my float is. And I don't know if you can see on camera, the fizzing is like a foot this way. Really, really strange. So I don't know whether that's been upset instantly as soon as I've gone over that or as soon as I fed it. Really, really strange. But yeah, just this cast I'm going to try a much bigger amount of bait, see if they come in on it a bit quicker and just sit and be patient over it. So if it doesn't work, next cast I'll go back to kindering over the top. So how long do we have to give it? Beautiful. So just let us know there was one there then. Tiniest, tiniest of indications. And then a bite. I'm liking that. That seemed about right. A big lump to get him in. Sit there, wait. Proper bite. So a little pot just might not quite be enough to draw in new fish into the bag. The thing I'm flapping about now is nets. I'm going to have to sneak another net in somehow. Oh no. Because that one's got 50. If this is £10, then this one's going to have close to 50. This is definitely £10. And that one's got 2 skimmers in, and I'm not allowed to put carp in with my skimmers. So it is another net time, I think. I'll have to sneak another one in somehow. I'll get one in here. I might get rid of my rod rest and just fish down the edge now for the last bit. If they're starting to come in, I might as well. Yeah, I won't feed that until I've got another net in. That's got 50. What did I say? I had 44. Yeah, that'll go 52 now. In that net. So I'll better sneak another net in. Just so we don't upset the boss. all fizzing up and swirling. A little bit of a swirl. Hopefully I didn't miss that one then. There's a lot of bait down there for only one fish at a time, but they seem happy though. There's definitely one in my peg then, definitely. Maybe once they wafted out of it, maybe I need to put a little pot back on now and just condense it a bit. Just overwet that ground bait a bit more just to create me method feedery lump on the bottom. Might try and do that. I think I've missed that one. I think this one's been in my peg and gone. Because even for the size of the fish, you think they come in and trough, but they don't. They're clever as. I bet you they're never in your peg more than 20 seconds at the most. Come in, little mooch about, gone. So I might need a bit of bait to attract them back now. I really want to go down this other side as well, but I'm just a bit worried about that other side, about not being against something. I would like a go though. What time are we on? Half hour to go. Shall I just start 5 minutes down there? And I'm back on this or not? I don't know. There's been one in my peg on here, so I'm a bit stupid to do that, but would like a little go. What I might do is just feed this once more now, then put a big pot on, go down the other side, just with a kinder. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. 10 more seconds. And then I'm going to do that, because one's been in my peg and I've missed this, definitely. I'm happy now that it's been long enough that I've missed the arrival. It just didn't pick me bait up. A lot of bait there for one fish. And what I did do was spread my bait a little bit when I put it in. It went in a bit. Well, spread. Just put it in a bit tighter instead this time. One little quick go over that bit, just to get it out my head. 2-3 minutes is all it's getting. If I don't get an indication really fast, I am coming off it. So I've not seen any signs of fish or anything that way. And although I'm fishing at a depth that potentially you don't see any signs, I'd still like something to have happened, and I've just never seen any there. That chap's got one. What's he got on? Is that on pole? No, it's on the rod. No, there's just not been enough signs for me to get excited on this side. I've never even looked up and saw the glimmer of oh, there's just been one there. Normally you would. 30 more seconds. No, things were happening on the other one. Being stupid. Come on, get off. Get off it, get off it, get off it, get off it, get off it. I'm going to just go straight over that other one as well. Am I? Yeah, I am. I'm going to go straight over the other one. So I've got the last 20 minutes left. And I don't feel like I'm going to catch one in the edge at the minute. So I think the best chance of me catching a fish, maybe even two fish, is possibly to launch that feeder back out. So what I might do is just give this 30 more seconds. If I get one, great. If not, I might feed it really quick. Am I going to feed it? Yeah, I'm going to feed. Oh, I've just seen one in the edge. But weirdly, it's been this side of the pot, so I don't know if it can actually sneak in between the bail and the pot to get to my rig. I don't know if I can actually fit through that little gap there or what, I don't know. I suppose it can. So now I've changed my mind. Now I've seen one in the edge. And there's a swirl further the back as well, and I've just had a liner. So yeah, no, change the plan. Back to sitting down here, I was about to throw my feeder then, just to see if I could get one more bite on that. But while there's one in the edge, what's the point? I mean, whenever there's been one there, you felt like it's an easy bite potentially. Is that a little liner then? Yeah, another little liner. It's quite tricky to see me float there at the minute. We got him? Oh no, I don't like that. No, it's not in the mouth. Not in the mouth, that one, unfortunately. Probably shouldn't have struck at that. I was just struggling to see me float a little bit. It might be. I don't think it is. Didn't feel like it were. I'll take time, see if I can pull him round. Because this could be my last fish, potentially. I'll tell you what, the more I'm playing him, the more I feel like he is in the mouth. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's get him back to top kit and start yanking. Oh no, oh, he's not ready for that yet. No. He's not in the mouth, is he? Not if he's doing this to me. Whether he'll let us see him. Oh, he's winning. He's winning now. Could almost do with pulling it this way past me, like that way. So I might get a look at him then, and might be able to get me net in front of him. So obviously we don't want to foul hook him, but if we do, I want to give myself the best chance of getting him in. So you can see he's just there. That's what I said, getting him parallel to me. He's winning again. Must only be a small one, luckily. It's one of them big lads have absolutely ripped me a new one at this point, if it had been foul hooked. Nearly had him. Not actually that little, it's probably 10 pounds still. It's right in the tail, and often in the tail of the ones you land. Anyway, it's right in the meaty bit in his tail. You have half a chance. Another go. You got him. Luckily he was a Frinny yet, quite a little one. So I could probably put him in the other net, but I won't. Alright, so what are we going to do then? I think we are going to go back down that edge, to be fair. I think that's the one. Bit of edge dwelling is the one. Big pot again. Straight over it, be patient. What have I got? Yeah, 16 minutes. I haven't got enough time in 16 minutes to do both. I can't fish a feeder and this. There's 20 minutes to go, I had time. Sorry, not 16 minutes to go, it's 16 minutes past now. So I've only actually got, let's make a bit of noise. Yes, I've only got 14 minutes left, which isn't time for a cast on a feeder. I get to get him in, and this is us now. This is weird to say, with 14 minutes to go, 13 minutes to go. It's probably our last cast. But that's fine. It just means I've got to sit and wait and be patient. Nice and patient. And hopefully 12 minutes for another visit, one more to visit. So even then, that one then took a long time to actually come into me peg. I mean, a big pot of it. I'd been on the other side. I'd gone back on this one with a kinder pot, and I probably sat there for 2 or 3 minutes before deciding I was about to come off it. And then we ended up staying because one came over me bait. No, that's it, mate, innit? What happened to them? They just stopped? Maybe they're not here now? They're just on their lap elsewhere or something? Yeah, it's just fizzed up now. No, not to see underneath. Not going to get one then. Is that it? Right. Right, so all we did, all good, and they were massive. I wasn't expecting them to be that big. They were ridiculous how big some of them were. I mean, really, really surprised that they went what they did, but lovely day. I've ended up with 133 pounds, which just shows how much of a patient day works. I mean, a lovely, steady, patient day, just catching odd fish. I reckon we've caught, you'll have to tot it up through this, but I reckon I've caught 13 carp, which not a lot at all. I mean, 13 carp, and they've got a colossal 133 pound. I mean, I couldn't ask for more than that. Absolutely lovely day, considering how flipping freezing it is and frightening what potential this place has when it actually livens up and gets really, really good. I can't even imagine how many fish are going to be caught here once they rock up and they pop up and they actually eat your bait early on in the session. But I've really enjoyed that. I do a few things different, obviously. I think the ideal day was literally fishing method and fish down the edge. That would have been the steady day today, but not knowing, and obviously filming a live match, I wanted to try and bring a little bit more into it, just in case, and say another day it could have easily got a biter's chuck on a waggler against the far bank, covering that long pole line as well. It's not upsetting anything by feeding it. So you feed them, and another day you drop on long pole and you catch 10 in 10 chucks. You never ever know. So I feel like it's gone nice and simple. One thing I would do as well is fishing down the edge. I think I'd have been better fishing one line. I should have just fished that one line to my left, because it would have stopped any fish that may have been on that line. I think they'd all be in one place, and it might give me 2 or 3 bites that you can see. 2 or 3 bites could go who knows what on this place. 40 pound potentially quite easy. So yeah, other than that, a lovely example of early season carp fishing where you just have to be patient, have belief in what you're doing, and with a bit of luck, they're all this big and you weigh in lots and lots. But I've really enjoyed that. Hope you'll have too, and we'll catch up with you very, very soon.